Welcome back, Nerd Nation. So today's guest is Carl Goodman. Welcome back, Carl.
Hello. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah. So today I want to talk a little bit. Everyone knows your success as an advisor here at N.E.R.D Power. What some people may not know is you have solar on your house.
I do.
And you've recently started a Facebook page.
Yes.
And what's it called?
The Solar Advisor.
Solar Advisor. I love that.
Yes.
So this is going to be kind of from a homeowner's perspective today.
Okay.
I'm going to be the homeowner, not you. But I'm going to be asking you homeowner to homeowner, right?
Yeah.
So some of the reasons why you went solar and some of the things that you considered. Obviously, you got a really good deal, so pricing's not going to be a conversation. But
it was an okay deal.
It was an okay deal. But you've been in solar for how long?
Hey, we're going on, it'll be 7 years in August.
7 years.
We've got almost, 6.5 years now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as soon as you got a house, one of the first things you did was?
It was immediate, yeah. Immediate. I bought a house in, December 2019, started the process in February.
Yeah.
You know?
And obviously, it's important that you're a product of your product, right?
Correct.
But tell me, why did you go solar?
All right, a number of reasons. I mean, number one was obviously I'm in solar, right? So if I'm going to be selling solar, I need to, I believe in it, but why would I not use it myself and then use my own personal home as evidence of that it works, right? When it's done right way. And you
do that all the time. That's
all the
part
time.
Part of your presentation.
Every single person I meet with sees a picture of my home. They see a copy of my bill.
Yep.
Like it's part of my pitch. It's, because I think it's, when you're selling someone, they have to trust you, right? And when you're showing them undeniable information, undeniable facts, right? It hits home. It really does, because they can see the proof that, hey, this is, even though I work for the same company, but I have it myself, I'm just like you, right? I spent the money, I invested it, and I'm happy with it. But that's the number one reason why I went solar. Number two is just mainly for, environmental reasons and the control. I mean, and I just got sick of paying APS. I mean, that's really just paying the utility. It was a lot of money. It was a bill that I dreaded. In the summer times, I'm hitting $600-700 a month. Because my family likes to keep it cool in the house.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to be that. Try not to be that dad, but turn lights off, turn the air down. It's a common thing in Arizona with many, many families, and it just allowed us to have more freedom, I guess you could say. And I'm not concerned about my bills, like the summer bill I'm going to get now. Like it's not a concern of mine or stress anymore.
So control and comfort, that's actually two different things.
Yep.
And you hit it right on the head. So many people, especially here in Arizona, they, because of time of use and stuff, they're uncomfortable in their own houses.
They sure are. Yeah.
And they're miserable, and because they're afraid of that $700 utility bill.
There is homeowners that literally shut off their air conditioners in Arizona between 3 and 8 p.m. because they can't afford their bills.
In the middle of the summer.
In July or August. And they suffer through it, right? Or they turn their ACs to 82, 83, 84 degrees so they can save, $50 that month, right? And it just... once they understand, looking into solar and how it actually impacts those summer bills, it allows them, people go solar for more than just savings, right? I mean, that comfort I think is huge, because that is nowadays, even people, working from home is even a bigger factor.
Right.
It really is.
And that was what I was going to talk about. So since COVID, more and more people are home, so utility prices are going up.
For sure.
And unfortunately, what that means for a lot of homeowners is they're less comfortable in their own home. Right.
They are.
And I remember I was knocking on a door in Scottsdale and knocked on this door, and the guy basically was stripped down in clothing. And he was like, I'm so sorry. I'm miserable in my house. And I was like, I'm just the guy you need to talk to.
Right. For sure.
And now he's a solar customer, but it's crazy what people will go to save money.
Right.
And to
see it all the time.
And this is an alternative to where they can save money and be comfortable in their own house.
Right. And not only just solar, but our platform.
Yeah.
Think about it, right? Yep. I mean, these homes where they turn the ACs off or they turn them up, they get hot quick, right? Yeah. Because their insulation levels are low or their ductwork isn't sealed. So that's, so the way we can approach our platform with homeowners is it hits home in so many factors where, you know, like homeowners ask me the question, oh, so if I redo my insulation, I can turn my air down from, 79 to 76. And it's like, well, no, you could probably keep it at 79 and it's going to feel like 76 because you're no longer losing that cold air, right? Yeah. And you're going to love it. You're going to feel more comfortable behind that. And yeah, exactly. So
I love that.
Yeah.
So let's talk about control, because I think especially, so we're first part of March 2022. Obviously there's a war going on.
Yes.
And one of the main topics is energy.
It is, for sure.
And so as a homeowner and as a solar advisor, how has this impacted you and your approach to solar?
It just adds more to the conversation. I think, we can expand on the control factor a little bit more, because, you can talk about inflation, over the past, 20 years and this and that, which inflation is just a natural thing that happens. Right. But now it's like, wow, and it's affecting, now it's even more important for homeowners to take control of their finances, especially with gas prices, food prices. I mean, things that
everything.
I've got 4 kids, man. I feel it myself personally. Like, I'm happy, even more happy to have solar, because I don't know, if I have a $600 bill coming up in the summertime, that's going to be a stretch. Like, that's going to be like, how am I going to budget that when I know that my food bill just went up by $500?
Yeah.
Or my gas bill was, for my car just went up by $400.
Yep.
It's a lot. So I think that's definitely a good approach to bring up now more than ever, where it's not always about saving money. It's about, mitigating what you're going to be seeing here very, very soon in the future with increased cost.
Well, one of the, I hear this a lot in the solar industry, that comparison between, fuel, right? When if you could have locked in your fuel rate, back in 2000, would you have done that? Well, yeah, of course, especially today. And what people don't realize is that's going to be more prevalent than ever before.
Oh, yeah.
Because, resources and fuels, everything's going up right now.
It is, and especially where we live here in Maricopa County. I mean, there's so many people moving here. There's so much being pulled.
I heard 36,000 a month.
It's crazy.
That's crazy.
It's a huge number.
Yeah,
that's not good for our electrical grid. You know, I mean, it's something that solar is becoming even more prevalent now because of that, and it's definitely a good angle to use. With a homeowner, if they're concerned about savings, but it's the bigger picture.
Yeah.
100%.
Awesome. So again, you are an advisor, right?
Yep.
And so knowing what you know, did you put the most expensive panels on your roof?
No,
I
did not.
So tell me, why is N.E.R.D, what makes N.E.R.D unique? Why is N.E.R.D a choice that most homeowners should really consider?
Right. I mean, we look at, a cost-effective panel that's going to work. I mean, that's the thing. And I explain that to my homeowners as well, too, is like, the panel technology out there is fairly similar, right? There are some panels that are a little bit more efficient, or, maybe 7% or 6% more at 25 years, right? These are small numbers. But in all reality, you want something that works as a set and forget, and that you don't have warranty issues with. And that's why I love the panels that we use, because we don't have those issues.
Yep.
Even for my own home, I designed my system. I approached it a couple different ways, right? One more for aesthetics as well. I wanted to look very, very sharp on my house, but I dropped my wattage down so I could accomplish that goal. I've got 295 watt panels on my house. Everybody's, oh, wow, well, everything's 355, 380, 400 now. It doesn't matter, because it's actually doing exactly what it's supposed to do. Yeah. Right. And that, I think that's probably the key statement there, is that when we designed it, the numbers were this or X, right? And my numbers are there. Like that, it's producing. So it doesn't matter if I put up 400 watt panels, REC, blah, 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 best on the market, or what I'm doing, it still works. Yeah. Right.
It works.
The expectations are there for myself personally. Yep. And that's what I explain to homeowners as well, too, is that aspect, that this is going to be exactly the way that I'm showing you.
Well, another aspect that we probably don't get too much into with homeowners,
right?
But is the fact that, the companies that we work are stable too. You know what I mean?
Correct.
And because, there are some premium panels out there, but they're fairly young companies and they're having cash problems. That's scary, right?
It is. I mean, look at LG, right? For example, they're pulling out of the solar panel manufacturing business. Now, they're not pulling out of solar in general. I know they're doing, shifting their focus elsewhere.
Right.
But, they're now saying that they've set aside X amount of panels for warranties, right? And then when that's up, it's up.
Yeah.
Like, so what happens in 5 years from now when a homeowner needs an LG panel? They're not getting it, right? And, so I like our Longi panels for the financial stability of the company as well, too, because they're not going anywhere.
Right.
I mean, they're I think they were ranked like the, number one most bankable, panel in the world.
Exactly.
And they're a solid panel.
Yep.
They really are.
And I really love and appreciate, Brian and Babe and when they are looking for buying decisions, for our company and what we're going to be utilizing for equipment, they take all factors in. They're going to get a good panel.
Yeah.
But they're also going to make sure it's a healthy company, that it does its job, that there's
exactly.
not, I love that. So tell us a little bit more about, what else you talked about N.E.R.D's platform. Why is that important for a homeowner to really look at when considering solar?
Because it's a whole home solution, right? It doesn't make sense to me in my mind, to just, like I say, slap panels on the roof when you're still, losing energy inside your home, right? It's the hole in the fridge analogy that we use.
Yep.
But the biggest energy loss is the attic. The biggest energy pool is the air conditioner. So why would we not focus on energy efficient upgrades that affect your air conditioner? Like, I don't do windows and doors, right? We're not doing that. Those are not cost effective. But sealing up your ductwork, doing insulation, solar attic fans, inexpensive overall compared to the bigger picture, with an amazing return and then a huge impact, which brings into the comfort, the control, and then the savings as well too. And what most homeowners don't even think about, or even people in our own company don't even think about, is the ripple effect of the efficiency upgrades that we're doing. Think about it. Your air conditioner may last another year.
Yeah.
Because it's more efficient. Your roofing materials may last another 5 years because it's not being blasted from the heat from underneath. There's a ripple effect around there that encompasses everything with the home. So it's not about just saving money on the electricity bill. It's the much bigger picture from a financial standpoint for the family, for the future, for your whole house, right?
Yeah, interesting. I remember, when we first got into this, we had a customer that had called and canceled their loan. And so Babe sent me, so I was on my way home. So I went to this customer and we had just did a whole home solution package with him. So we did insulation, air seal, duct seal, and they'd canceled. And so when I went there, I was expecting a little bit of some conflict, right? Like something happened, and when I got to the door, they're like, come on in and we love N.E.R.D. And I was like, I am so confused.
Right.
Like I was told you canceled, but obviously you guys are super happy. And they're like, oh my gosh, we have saved so much money just from the insulation, the ductwork, all this. We don't even need solar. And so we had a conversation, and it was more long-term, and they got right back on, and they're super happy, but it's so impactful.
It is.
And I will be honest, when I first came to N.E.R.D, I was nervous about, the offsets that we were telling people, because I didn't know if it was going to work. Does it work?
It works.
Oh my gosh.
We're conservative.
We are very conservative.
And I even share that with homeowners. I think a lot of times that may be an unknowing or underlying concern or objection from a homeowner. They're not, telling you that they don't trust your numbers. Right. They don't believe, there's no way. Right. So I even share that information as well. Like, look, I'm only showing 9%, 8%. You can agree with me right now. That's a very conservative number. You will probably see more than that. Right.
Yeah. Like an insulation company will come in and they'll say, hey, you're going to save 30%. And maybe it will.
Right.
And we're at 8, 9.
Or 9.
Yeah.
Or, I like bringing up the window guys, right? I mean, not to bash window guys. I mean, they're fine out there, but some of them like to say, new windows will save you 25, 35% of your electricity bill. And that's kind of a stretch. It really is. When you're spending $20,000, $30,000 on windows, homeowner, why would you not spend $800 on a solar attic fan that's going to give you probably the same return, or the same offset, right? Yep. So once you can kind of break down those barriers with homeowners, because when you talk about energy efficiency, their mind automatically goes to what? Windows, door, Windows is probably the number one,
because that's what they
that's all that's been hammered in their head from everybody, from they see everywhere. Windows, doors, but they forget about the little things, the LEDs and the smart thermostats and the pool pumps and the insulation, the air roll seal, everything that we do. So you can really hammer that home with our platform. That's what makes us unique.
Yep.
100%.
You know, it's interesting. When we first got in there, I remember seeing lots of companies popping up trying to do what we do. A lot of them have, you know, moved on. Right.
And that was because they were using subcontractors.
Yeah.
I mean, guaranteed. That was it. That was the more likely. There are a few companies out there, I think, that do it, but it's very, I mean, we can count on one hand.
Yeah.
Who actually does that. But no one does it to the level we do it.
Exactly. And the reason is, you know, Babe says this a lot. If it was easy, everyone would do it. Like, Babe runs like 5 businesses in one. You know what I mean? Like an installation company, an air conditioning company, a pool company. You know, all these different things in one. You know, in one company, and it's hard. Right. But it's the right thing to do for customers.
It is, and I think, you know, when you can hit that home with homeowners, and I'll kind of reiterate that again, is when you can really hit home our platform and set us apart from other companies. Like it's a no-brainer for them. Yeah. I'll tell a story. I met with a guy on, what is today? Today's what? Thursday, right? Sorry. I lose my day sometimes, you know, when you're kind of in that cycle, right? But I met the guy on Tuesday. He was an APS. He had met with 4 or 5 companies over the past year, very interested in solar. And he, you know, was like, I have not found the right, you know, approach. Just haven't found it. So I designed a 35 panel system, brand new pool pump, redoing his entire attic. I even went up in his attic and so let's go take a look at it. And what really hit it home was we went up there. I said, you need to come up here, you know, Brian, check this out. We could see the light from his kitchen in his attic.
Oh, wow.
Think about that.
Wow.
Just that little hole. It hit home. Like, it was undeniable that our platform was for, I mean, there was no questions. Like it was an easy transition. He's just like, basically, where do I sign? Right. Yeah. I have not heard this before. This is the right approach. I love it. Yeah. You know, and it's, if you can explain it the right way and hit home those details and the benefits of our platform, then yes, it is essentially a no-brainer for homeowners at that point.
And it's important for people to understand, you know, you came to this decision as a homeowner as well, right? And the whole home package, the platform, that is why you're so good, and that is why you're recognized, I mean, well known around the valley and even across the nation as far as your knowledge in the solar game, right? Yeah. And it's important, you know, for our nerds to understand that you really hit home the platform, right?
I do.
So we're running out of time, but I want to get into a couple more questions for you as a homeowner and kind of, you know, your point of view. So what questions and concerns do homeowners have right now? Like, what's keeping people from moving forward with solar, and how would you overcome those?
Well, that's a good question. There's a lot of, I think right now, and what I deal with most in Arizona is homeowners' perception of solar. From friends and family, or not even friends, or just from in general. You know, they hear the horror stories, and they never. Someone's gonna be a very difficult objection to overcome, because, you know, that third party validation is not there because they don't believe you, right? Yeah. And really, to me, just to overcome that is just being as straightforward as possible about it. No BS, no, you know, dog and pony show, whatever you want to call it. Just being, this is black and white. This is what it's going to be. Either it makes sense or it doesn't. But I think as a rep, though, you also have to recognize when you're wasting your time as well, too, because you're not going to be able to get everybody to go solar. Right. That's okay. That's probably the biggest objection I see. The other ones are, in my opinion, are kind of minor. I mean, you know, what's going to happen if it leaks, right? Well, our warranties cover that, right? Right. You know, what's going to happen, you know, if there's damage to it? Well, you know, that's homeowners insurance. I mean, there's, I don't see a lot of objections that I can't overcome.
So you said something very interesting. Yeah. It's either going to make sense or it isn't.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's where our platform comes in, because our platform is so much of a value adder, right?
It is.
It just, it makes it to where it's a no brainer. Like, it's the obvious logical.
And if you're not pitching it that way, to them, it's strictly at that point numbers only. Right. Do they want to spend $40,000 or not? Right. That's what it comes down to. I mean, people, you know, when they can understand what we do and how it's going to benefit them long term, then those numbers don't mean anything. 40,000, 50,000, 70,000, like none of that. They're not as shocked if you don't bring that value, 100%.
One thing that's interesting, I want to end on this, is the fact that when you and I text a lot, and you'll meet with someone, and like you said, you're not going to win all of them, right? But your response is always interesting to me. It's like, what are they thinking? Like, because to you, you're not out there trying to make money. You're trying to go out there and make a difference. Obviously, money and all
money
that
comes with it for sure.
But you're literally just like, wow, like, why would they not go forward with this? You know what I mean? It's crazy because of, we think it's bad now, but where it's going, and it's instant savings, and it's tough, right?
And I think what it comes down to, and this is, I was telling you a story about, I have my online page, right? And there's a guy on there, one of my ads, is being awesome, but what, being a little sarcastic. But, one of the things that he said on there in the very end of his very long paragraph of why he, really hates solar was the potential drawbacks, right? I think that's probably the biggest thing it's very, very difficult to overcome is the fear of the unknown, right? The fear of the future. Some people just cannot get over that. They cannot open up their mind and think of the future, and they just think of like, oh, if I do this now, it's going to be, what happens if it's bad? Like then they're kicking themselves or whatever, and they won't go solar because of that, right? They're missing out, and you can cover that all you want. I mean, you can approach that, but at the end of the day, you cannot change someone's mind if they are dead set in the fear of the future.
Well, it's interesting because we've had those customers that aren't happy, right? We've made our mistakes. We're not perfect and stuff like that.
Right.
But what people don't understand is we have thousands of customers.
Yep.
And maybe 1% or less, has had a bad experience. But who do we hear from, and who posts and stuff? It's it's that 1%, right? And it's interesting, and that's where a lot of that fear comes from, is because of those negative stories. But man alive, when you look at the ratio of the people that are happy and
with solar
and
not even just with N.E.R.D, just across the country. I mean, across the entire industry, it's a very small percentage that have been taken advantage of, in the overall bigger picture, right? And there's companies out there, and mainly a lot of reps out there that are not doing things right, and that eventually will probably. Oh, it'll never come to it. It doesn't matter what industry you're in.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate.
It's in every single industry, not just solar, right? But a lot of homeowners sometimes they focus on the negative only, and they're blind to the positive, even if you're presenting them with undeniable information.
Yep.
And at that point, you just move on to the next one.
Yeah, cool.
Because you can only waste so much mental capacity on homeowners, at that point, right?
Right.
Move on to the next one. You're not going to sell everybody,
right?
And I said this to other people before, if I sold every single person that I met with, like I wouldn't even be talking to you right now because I'd be sitting on a beach. Like I guarantee you, I would not be working anymore, so.
That's right.
But no, I think overall I went solar because I believe in it, and it's not just, even if I wasn't even working here at N.E.R.D Power, I would have gone solar 100%. Right. I think because I understand the long-term benefits of it, and you can, and if reps can put themselves in a homeowner's shoes, and understand what some of their concerns are by owning the house, I think they'll be, and overcome that during their presentation or during that, they'll be just fine. They should see more sales.
And anyone who owns a house, I mean, a house is an investment. Like people love their homes, and they want to better their home, and that's what I really, really, really hope that our nerds understand is our platform.
Yeah.
Like it's not easy to do, but it is so worth it. So,
especially with, I know we're wrapping up here, but especially with Pearl certification.
Yes.
I hit home on those, like
what we offer, right? Our platform includes all these reduction items, but Pearl certification, solar insurer, 30-year bumper to bumper. Like it just has so much to offer.
Those two alone is what I really focus on with homeowners. And there are some other companies that have solar insure this and that, and that's okay, right? We're going to have that, but not many of them have Pearl.
Right.
And I think that's one of the biggest concerns, kind of going back to your question earlier, another concern of a homeowner is reselling the home in the future. Because that's where a lot of the, you talk to a lot of realtors, which most of them are not on board with solar because they don't understand.
It's an educational thing,
100%.
Right? They just don't understand. And so what you don't understand, you're afraid of, and what you're afraid of, you don't. Yeah,
Yeah,
you don't
it's
push,
actually a
right?
problem across the country.
It is,
with realtors.
for sure.
It's every single market.
It's getting better here in this market and
Right.
California, but yes, it's a problem.
So I think that's a big concern for homeowners is the longevity of it. Of okay, if I sell this house in 6 or 7 years, am I going to be losing money because I took out this, and that is a major concern. I've actually had people not move forward because of that, right? But Pearl helps.
Yeah,
100%.
sure.
And then if you can explain Pearl correctly and really hit that home and then tie that in with everything that we're doing and then tie it in with third-party references of people that have sold their homes with us, with Pearl and the equity and the value they've gained, that alleviates.
And we've had lots of customers that have sold and no issues, right?
Yes.
So
I have a personal friend of mine who I did insulation only for. That's it. 1,800 square foot home. We did Smart Shield, got Pearl with it.
Pearl certification.
He sold his house. Or sorry, no, he did a refinance, about 3 months later, and they line itemed insulation work. He got $2,000 out of it. He paid like $2,200, or $23, or whatever the number was. He literally got his money back immediately, along with
all the
comforts
and the comfort and the savings from.
Yes, I mean that alone. Awesome. So I bring that story a lot up with homeowners, but that I think utilizing Pearl will alleviate that major concern of reselling the house in 5-6 years. It really will.
Awesome.
So,
well, Carl, thank you for joining. I'm sure we'll have you back soon.
Definitely.
But thanks for listening.
Awesome. You guys have a great day.